Final segment of ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. We want to say thank you for rocking with us throughout the entire show, making us your first listen of the day, making sure you're giving us 5-star reviews because we're so great and excellent and we exude what you try to do each and every day, and that's get better. That's what we're going to do each and every day on a Monday through Friday. We are right here for you on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Check out John Chuckery and Hitting Hard and A to Z with Mark Zeno. They got some good stuff for you too. But T, this is For the Culture. It is the intersection between sports, entertainment, and the culture. And sometimes, whatever the fuck we want to talk about, that's just what we're going to do. That's how we get down on this show. Now, T, the Atlanta Dream, you know, this is a rebuild, right? Like anytime you have the number one overall pick, more than likely you did not have a good season, and most of the times you're hitting the reset button, as an organization, and that's exactly what the Atlanta Dream have done. But the one thing that I've been really impressed by, and when you're talking about starting that rebuild process, is that you have to draft well, and when it comes to picking the player that could potentially lead you back to prominence where you want to be and where you talking about winning championships, I think when the Atlanta Dream selected Rhyne Howard number 1 overall out of Kentucky, I think that was the start of the rebuild right there, and I think she's kind of proved that she's worth it because she's had back-to-back Rookie of the Months and she's on the All-Star team right now as we speak.
Yes, and she'll also be participating in the 3-point contest because she's just that kind of competitor. But it goes even deeper than Rhyne Howard. She's kind of like that first level of where this is kind of a different rebuild. They're way ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule because you're talking about them, and it's kind of like the NBA where it's not truly the midpoint, but it's the midpoint of the season. But you're talking about them having already won more games, 10 games, than they did last season, right? And you're talking about as well them seeing the fruit of their labor even last year because Ari McDonald is now healthy, and she's the engine to what I asked her a couple of days ago. So you guys are critical, the second unit. What are you calling yourself? The bench mob, the A team, the night shift? And she was like, we'll go with bench mob. So the dream bench mob is really, really anchored by Ari McDonald. She's doing a fantastic job. Cheyenne Parker is absolutely just killing. Yeah, she's killing it in the front court. And that's what I think it is for them. I think their biggest asset is a team philosophy and a team approach. Most of the time when I look in the box score, multiple, even in losses, multiple players have double digits in scores. Multiple players have rebounds, assists, like the whole thing. So it's really a team effort. And I credit Tanisha Wright for that. Coach Tanisha Wright does not get enough credit for what she's been able to do with that team. And also your leadership, like a Morgan Shaw Parker and like the ownership team who literally said, yes, we're in rebuild mode, but we're also going to put a quality product on the court. And I just love what they're doing out there. And again, I'm just excited about the fact that they're so far ahead of schedule. And I keep telling people they're sneaky good. And I would not be surprised if somehow, some way they found themselves even in the playoffs this year. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's funny because I was reading an interview that Rhyne Howard, you talking about that competitor, right? Like it was so funny. Like they asked her about, was it a goal for her to be an all-star? And her answer was actually that wasn't a goal. But then when it started coming around, I was like, oh, I better make it. There was so much talk about it, so might as well. Like the confidence, but still kind of the humbleness kind of mixed in together. And it's just like you talk about wanting to participate in the 3-point contest. I just think that she's just the perfect number 1 overall pick, right? From a production standpoint, and she has the right demeanor and the way she carries herself. It just seems like the Atlanta Dream got them one, and they're well on their way. Like you said, they're a little bit ahead of schedule, but they're well on their way back to getting exactly where they want to be.
And we talk about having a dog in you. Oh, they got several. We always talk about having that dog in you, that killer instinct. They got a couple of them.
And you know how they can tell them about how they can get that killer instinct through Coffee AM, though, T.
Yes, because you need to have a killer instinct if you are out here in these Atlanta streets and that traffic. Literally. I'm a really safe driver. I consider myself a safe driver, and I almost tagged somebody today, and I was like, oh, And the reason I mention that is because sometimes we all need a pick me up, right? We all
Right.
need something to help us to stay alert. And that's what all the products from Coffee AM can do. You see, Jarvis has this, I'm still waiting on mine, but I'm going to get mine. And when I get it, I can't wait to tell you guys about it because Jarvis keeps bragging on his coffee side, but I like to brag on the gourmet tea side because I'm excited to see what that product is, especially because many of you guys may know I had to have nasal surgery that kind of also dealt with throat issues. Well, when you're drinking a gourmet tea that's also healthy for you, fresh coffee, fresh tea, all of those things help you to be the best you. And so, again, most of the coffees, they're roasted and shipped either the same day or close to it. That's a plus. They only roast current crop, specialty grade coffee. That's a plus. A huge correct collection rather that they get from all over the world. Organic, fair trade, direct trade, doesn't matter. They get it. And don't you always want to have a company that you rock with that represents the A well, that's this company because they're local. So why not support someone who's roasting in your own backyard? Want to know more? Go to coffeeam.com/locked on today and take a look at that full menu, coffees, teas, and even gift sets if you want to share it with anyone. Again, it's coffeeam.com/locked on. Use the coupon code locked on. That's going to get you 15% at checkout. Coffee AM is the best small batch roaster in America. And I can't wait one of these days for you guys to drop in the comments how much you love Coffee AM.
No doubt about it, because I know I'm already on board. I'm sold. They got me. I'm on it each and every day, T. No doubt about it. Now, before we get out here, we got to talk about Sandra Douglas Morgan. Who is Sandra Douglas Morgan, Jarvis? Sandra Douglas Morgan is the first black team president in the entire NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders make history again, T. By hiring another first. We know Art Shell was the first black. They hired the first black head coach in the Super Bowl era. And I think Tom Flores was the first Latino, excuse me, head coach that wanted to win a Super Bowl. So I think that was one thing that I thought that the Raiders have. Mark Davis, the one thing that Mark Davis has gotten right is to continue to, put those names in those first conversations. And I think that the one thing that stood out to me, though, T, as far as Mrs. Morgan, excuse me, what that stood out to me in her press conference, she said that it's no secret that this organization has faced some recent challenges, but I want to be clear. That's how you know a black woman's getting serious. She said, let me be clear. I am not here to sweep anything under the rug or avoid problems or concerns that need to be addressed. I absolutely love it because I know a lot of people think of mine start to go there when they talking about these type of hires, and she's letting everybody know that, hey, I'm here to do a job, and I'm here to do a job very well.
Yes, and she spoken like a true attorney, and she really she really does have an incredible background, and she's someone who has been in the Las Vegas community for a number of years, doing some great things, being on various boards within the state of Nevada. So she's had a lot of influence there, and I think that she's level setting because she knows that the league. We talk a lot about what's going on with the Commanders, right? And what's going on with Dan Snyder. But there are pockets, and there have been pockets in the last several years where there have been some dust ups that really make you question either an owner, the ownership, a coach, the coaching staff, etc. And she's setting everything on the table and saying, I'm setting the bar high from day one. And I really love that. And I'm excited about what it is that she'll be able to do. And I hope, Jarvis, having a first black female team president in a league that's over 100 years old, if you consider, the entirety of what the league has been, I certainly hope that we don't have to wait another 100 years before we see something like this happen, where you're giving an opportunity for a woman of color to have a seat at the table.
No doubt about it. And she talked about not wanting to be the last person. Yes. She's proud of being the first, but definitely don't want to be the last.
Yes, indeed, indeed. And so we, speaking of firsts, are the first stop for you on Locked On Sports Atlanta. So stop by each and every day and we'll give you all the ATL sports that you want to talk about, and maybe make your next stop, maybe not your last stop because you can go to all of our spots, but maybe your next stop on a Friday can be hitting hard with John Chuckery. So you guys have a safe weekend because it is still hot in Atlanta. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you on Monday.
Y'all come back now, you hear?